When archaeologist Mika Matthews steps out into the dry heat of Sedona, Arizona, she is walking into a void. Her grandfather, the brilliant and disgraced field researcher known as Mojo, has disappeared, leaving no itinerary and no phone calls. Instead of a straight answer, Mojo left his granddaughter an exacting arrangement of objects: a lone key taped to a note, a Polaroid of him standing in front of a Guatemalan stela, and a 1974 field journal, its split leather smelling of cedar and gunpowder. Any doubt about the severity of this inheritance clears up within hours. Rocks shatter a window pane, and a knife is driven through the adobe wall. Tied to the hilt is a piece of woven cloth bearing a specific ancient warning mark. Mojo's disappearance has triggered an active, violent conspiracy. Mika's reaction is strategic. She doesn't call the police. She assembles a team. She brings in Josh for tactical field logistics and off-the-books gear, and Kate, a textile conservator, who can analyze the complex material layers Mojo left behind. This problem is far too complex for one academic to solve alone. Micah is now the newest target in a multi-generational archaeological cover-up, and surviving it requires a specialized unit. This brings up a central investigative question. Why would an expert archaeologist leave a sequence of obscure requirements instead of just telling his granddaughter the truth? Plain language is a vulnerability in the black market artifact trade. A direct letter with coordinates would be easily intercepted by rival looters, specifically well-funded operators like Dr. Schechter, who has spent decades controlling the access points to the Peten jungle. Mojo designed a security system out of his own history, starting with his 1974 field journal. As the team reads through it, the entries shift. Standard academic observations about soil composition dissolve into shorter, frantic sentences, documenting a genuine, escalating terror. Kate leads the analysis of Mojo's hand-drawn topographical map of the Guatemalan jungle. At first glance, it looks like standard field drafting, but Kate identifies a physical security measure built directly into the map's construction. Mojo used tissue-thin drafting paper and fixative to glue two maps together. Peeling back the sacrificial top layer reveals the secondary access points hidden underneath, alongside a clear directive: don't trust the trees. The final piece of this puzzle is the most inexplicable. Sitting in Mojo's vintage expedition vest is a heavy field compass that defies standard magnetism completely, its needle pulling steadily northeast, locked onto something thousands of miles away. These interlocking fragments form an analog security protocol. Mojo engineered them to verify the physical and intellectual limits of the exact people he knew were capable of reaching the site. The team has the coordinates, but the timeline is the new obstacle. A 50-year-old secret is now forcing Micah, Josh, and Kate to leave for Guatemala in a matter of hours. Mojo hid his physical evidence inside a lockbox placed at the base of a ceiba tree, allowing the structure to grow over it for decades. The evidence is now encased within the massive living roots. This creates a strict biological deadline. In exactly 5 days, the intense rains of the wet season will arrive. The river will swell, the jungle silt will shift, and the extraction window for that lockbox will close forever. At the same time, a human timeline is accelerating. In Geneva, Dr. Schechter is organizing a highly guarded private auction, looking to sell off a cache of Sector 4 artifacts for $14 million. The center of this auction is a small jade figurine. It predates the Olmec civilization and acts as the physical proof of Schechter's illegal looting operation, an operation that dates back to the moment Mojo was forced out in 1974. Schechter needs to finalize this sale to vanish the items into private collections, but the lockbox in the jungle contains Mojo's original photographic documentation. Without those photos to establish the true provenance of the site, Schechter succeeds in erasing the actual context of Sector 4. The ticking clock is a rare convergence of natural environmental windows and unchecked human greed. The rains are coming, and the auction is set. Micah must act right now. On the road, the team meets Carmelita, a local insider who was present during the original 1974 expedition. She confirms that Mojo's journal is completely accurate. The impossible reality of Sector 4 is real. Carmelita explains Mojo's ultimate realization. The Sector 4 ruins were never meant to be a burial site. The stonework and the glyphs were constructed as a containment perimeter to hold something unnameable. The circular stone platform and the specific alignment of glyph carvings along its perimeter suggest a functional architecture. This operates with the precision of a mechanism. The artifacts Schechter is trying to sell are more than historical records. They function as a dormant, massive energy system. As Mojo wrote in his own shipping manifest, not bones, battery. Mojo addressed these items to the girl who digs up dead things for a living. He relied on Micah's ability to decode the past and her professional understanding that some sites are better left undisturbed as a boundary rather than a payday. It's a harsh lesson in archaeological stewardship. Sometimes protecting history means pulling a discovery out of the ground. But in Sector 4, protecting the world means keeping that discovery completely buried. The team arrives at a gravel airstrip in Flagstaff under the cover of early morning. They load their gear into a cargo plane, knowingly trading the safety of their academic careers for a heavily guarded jungle drop zone. They are at a tactical disadvantage, flying into territory controlled by well-armed looters. Their only guidance is a dead man's journal, a local guide, and an anomalous compass pulling them toward a dormant battery. But the protocol is set. To uncover truths that sit outside the boundaries of textbooks, you can't just study history from a safe distance. You have to pack your gear and be willing to cross the threshold yourself.
We are absolutely crazy enough to do this.
This is like nothing I've ever seen before. Who do you suppose built this place?
Somebody not from Earth.
Some places do not want to be found.